going on, JakeOfALL?
No, what's going on with you?
You seem bored.
I'm tired of the same old color.
Tired of the same old red?
Color.
Yeah.
You
maybe want to spice things up?
Yeah.
We know how to spice things up other ways.
It's true. Yeah, it's just, you know, after you've had something for a lot of time, many years, you just get tired of it.
Yeah.
Tired of it. You really want to try something new.
Oh?
I brought
what are we talking
flex
about
into
here?
our relationship and that didn't work.
Oh, Gray's got to go.
I don't know, I'm starting to wonder about red.
Oh?
Or pink, maybe.
Hey. Are you saying I'm old news? And
I didn't say anything about you.
You're saying red is old news?
Didn't say anything about you.
You said pink.
Didn't come out. But for really, you know, to sound like an infomercial,
Yeah.
doesn't this get boring every once in a while?
I mean, yeah. That's why you had to add the gray in.
It's a shame we couldn't spice this up, right?
Oh, well.
Like this.
Ooh, that's fancy.
Do you guys, actually you're the one that should be coming. Do you guys remember this? That's the Hydrodip M12 installation guide.
Yeah?
Well, what if I told you that I could spice it up?
Oh my gosh.
It was my Randy Macho. And I mean, this is just, it's red. You know, it's funny, a lot of comments in the video were like, I don't like red, but I like the PACKOUT.
I've heard that.
Right, and I'm like, well, my favorite color is blue, but I like the PACKOUT.
Yeah.
I don't mind red. I have a red truck on accident.
Yeah.
The black PACKOUTs I honestly like better than the red, but after seeing all the black toolboxes at Lowe's, I'd still rather have the red. But you know, it'd be nice to spice it up, right?
Yeah. Kind of change it up.
Like this.
Should we change something up then?
So what we're gonna do is there was a lot of good comments on this. So I say we take the I have a surge.
Yeah.
And it's really ugly the way they did the surges because it's based on like the Gen 2 body. So I say we Hydrodip a drill and
What else?
why don't we Hydrodip some PACKOUTs?
Hydrodip PACKOUT.
I know, we're really enthusiastic.
How are you going to do that?
How? Through the magic of editing.
Snap.
So, what we're going to do
Yes.
is we're going to take you along. It's going to be a longer video because I'm actually going to show you how to do it.
It's a how-to video.
She's probably going to leave because
I'm boring apparently. I'm old news. I gotta go.
She doesn't like getting high on paint fumes. It's a different thing.
No, that's
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the camera. I'm going to show you a set of drawers, and then I'll show you what I have in mind. Okay, so we're going to have this. We'll take a set of 3 drawers. Those are what I like most. We also got this.
Yep.
And what we'll do is we'll tear it completely apart, and I'll show you on video what I do. This honestly pretty easy.
You're hoping it works when you put it back together.
Yes, this took. Yeah, we won't talk about that. So on the drawers, you know, there's 3 of them. The drawers come out. You can disconnect the rails.
Where do you think you're gonna put the Hydrodip to?
So
You can do all. You can't.
I will not do this whole thing. You could, in theory, you could mask what you Hydrodip and then have a seam line, but I'll probably just put a seam line there. So what I'm thinking is I will take them along. You can go in and relax, and let's close this drawer and let's get to work.
Ta-ta!
Okay, so I showed you the prettiness, right? Now I'm going to show you the not so pretty. I'm going to talk about a couple different layout ideas, some things like that. Some stuff that I've learned, some stuff that I've heard from others. And FYI, I'll link Rob's Customs in the description because he does a lot of hydro dipping stuff and the stuff comes out great. So let's first go over prepping your part, right? So say we're going to paint this. This was a 3D printed part. I made sure it was cooled down, all that fun stuff, wiped it down. Okay, cool. If it's greasy, degrease it. Hey. I'm like all the way over here, so you have to be on the right side if you're going to say hi.
What you doing?
I'm going to do some skulls.
You're going to do some skulls?
I'm going to do some skulls.
Oh,
for the giveaway.
What are you hydro dipping?
A bunch of Dennis Smallbone stuff and some other things.
Ooh. Don't tell me what.
Dipping something big and expensive.
Oh boy. Okay.
I'm going to dip her.
What?
Hydro dippies.
Oh
Hydro
boy.
nipples. Hydro nipples.
Boop. Okay, well have fun.
Did you
I gotta
see
finish
yours?
one. Yeah, I did.
And what were we putting that on? What did you do?
We're gonna put this on the other guy, right? The other one of this.
The one that's sitting right next to it.
That one.
Yes.
Hey, we should do the one in the
Should we
printer room.
Not yet.
Oh.
Not yet.
Okay.
Because I need to have enough, and that took a lot.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, I'll leave you to it. Have fun.
The video won't get any views now.
Boo.
As soon as Packout Princess leaves the room.
I gotta go drink my tea.
Okay. So, as I was saying, if it's something that you've been using, you want to make sure you degrease it and then prime it. Now, I've heard of other stuff, people saying that they haven't primed their stuff, it's fine. Whatever. Okay. Now, imagine whatever color is transparent on the film is whatever your color coat needs to be, or you want it to be. So if I wanted this to be red skulls, I should have painted it red. It would have been black with red skulls. So this, right now, has primer, and then it's called like Midwest White. Gets a real good pop with the skulls. If you don't want the skulls to be bright white, use a lighter white. If you want the skulls to look like they're red skulls, use red. And a lot of people will say, well, if you're doing something like this drill and you want the color to be red, I've heard you can hydrodip. I've seen people, let me say, hydrodip bare stuff. But from what I understand, it doesn't stick as well, right? Primers, paints, things like that. They're all there for a reason. So I put on a light coat of primer, made sure it dry, put on a coat of the white, okay? There is like this silver. This is called New Coke Silver. Not exactly sure if it has to do with Coke, but instead of it being white skulls, they have a little silver to it, okay? Then you have, so primer, I don't want to say top coat, so I'll say color coat. Then you have activator. Activator is what you spray on this film. So imagine this film is floating on water, and I'll get into this tape for a second. You spray this on, and then you wait. And when the thing glosses over, you dip your part in, okay? Then you end it with this dead, I use dead flat clear because on something like this, I don't want it shiny. And as a bunch of people have said, JakeOfALL, you dip the handle. And I did, and just like Rob's Customs dips the handle. Let's see right there, can you see it? That's all that it's peeled in like 6 months. And what'll happen is it'll peel just to that line. So I don't really care. I'm good with that. There's a little piece of food. Scrapes right off. The back of the handle is weathered pretty well. So I hydro dipped this. This was green. And you can see I've hit it on some stuff. So it will wear off. Another thing I'm going to talk about is labels. I masked my label. Now, I voided the warranty the second I took this apart, so whatever. So, okay, mask your labels or peel your labels. That's up to you. You're voiding your warranty. If you want to know the serial number or if you want people to know it's Milwaukee, whatever, I thought it looked cool. If your label is over a seam, okay, this one's not over a seam, but this label is already bubbled, so I don't know if I'm going to mask that or peel it. But if your label is over a seam, you're going to have to pull your label, right? I guess you could cut it in half, but then you're going to have little spots where it's going to want to peel. And every time you peel your label, most likely you're not going to get it to re-stick. I've seen people glue it, but you're voiding your warranty anyways. It's yet to be seen if I'm going to peel this label or not. What I would recommend if you peel your labels is stick them to a card so you know the serial number of your tool. Okay. So next thing is figuring out how much film you need. Now, I have this little offcut, and I'm doing this small thing. Now, this thing mounts to a wall, so this is going to get covered because your layout also determines how you're going to hold something. So for this, for example, I have to hold it. If I put my fingers in here, it's going to get hydrodip there. And from the front, when it's empty, I definitely want that big one to have a little skull in it. And the skulls will wrap pretty well. Not perfectly. They're not going to come up and under something. But I don't need to wrap the back, and I'm going to attempt to get a little on the bottom. So you could put something in these screw holes and hold it like that. I am going to hold it like this. And what you want to do is imagine your part and we'll sort of wrap in multiple directions. That way the film, because the film is on the water and the surface tension holds it up there. So it causes it to wrap, and then it sort of causes it sort of like, have you ever seen the unfortunate of somebody falling into a pool cover in a pool, how it sort of encompasses them? That's what it does. So what I like to do is sort of test that out and figure out how much space I'm gonna need. Now, I've got this teeny bit left, and this is honestly just a giveaway item. And if it's not perfect, I don't think it's gonna matter, but it's a great way to use this little scrap up. Now, I definitely could use it for the Jake stand, but it's too much for that in my opinion. And it's not enough for these. So for these, for example, I'm gonna hold my fingers here, and I want it to wrap all 5 sides. So when I go like that, I wanna basically make sure that when I flip it, that there is enough room in each direction and there's enough room on the sides to go up. So I need a much bigger bit for this. And there's 2 of them, so I'll probably do them at the same time. And what I'll do is just dip my fingers in these holes like this, stick your fingers all up in that hole, and I'll just go down like that. And the idea is it's gonna come and encompass it and wrap it around. On these lids, I want it when they're closed, so I will hold my fingers like that, put it in, and on these 3D, oh, no, those are for something later. You'll see those at the end. The intro gave a small spoiler of what we're getting, but at the end, you're gonna see the final result and, you know, whatever else I do. Okay, a lot of you asked for it this way, so I apologize that this one's gotta be longer because you guys said you wanted step by step, you wanted more in depth. Okay, now, tape. This hydro film, I tried this and it was a complete disaster. I put it in a big tote, this big Rubbermaid tote. And I didn't tape it like it suggested. I was like, what's the point? This stuff, it's PVA on the bottom, right? And I don't know what that stands for, but it's water soluble. So the second it touches water, it becomes molten, malleable. If you don't have tape on the water, if you don't have something across the surface, and the big expensive water dipping tanks have these little metal bars. And that's because the water can't flow past that on the surface. And what will happen is this little piece will spread out and become this giant unrecognizable pattern. So you gotta have tape. Okay, plus it helps it easy to pick it up. And then what I do is I'll come along and I like to use the thinner border because you're wasting less material. And then I can cut this out and then I can and you do have to know which side is the PVA side, which in that case, they tell you to just get your fingers wet, pinch it, whichever side it sticks to. Now, I can take this and just hang it off of something, like over here. I've got it figured out for that item, set that item out of the way, and now I can come over here and, you know, work on the other ones. So for example, for these, if I were to lay it on the side there, stand it and flip it, right? This line here is gonna need it. And then both sides. So realistically, I'm gonna need up until here. So I'll make this idea. I'm gonna need this whole bottom for these. And then I'll probably have the top for those. And I'll really try to somehow with one hand free do that one. So maybe I'll cut a piece that's big enough to do that and then leave the rest for that. So what I will do now is I will lay this tape out, and what I'll do is make sure we do something like this. Tape it to my thing, put it down, double check it, okay. And then I can just cut along that tape. Come for here, okay. These magnets, my workbench is metal, work pretty well to hold this stuff down. Okay, let's start over. If your stuff curls like that, you really need that last little bit. You can sort of pull it like that, tape it. Unravel it. Obviously, your goal is to not run out in the process of hydro dipping, because if you run out, you'll have a spot that's just the undercoat, or the color coat as I call it. So make sure it's pressed on the film. Move my magnet now. And the tape, you're sticking to the film. Obviously the film doesn't have dust on it, so if this little mat that I'm working on has dust on it, it's not the end of the world because it's going on the water. It doesn't matter. So now I'll cut this and we'll be right back. So what I actually ended up doing is just taking a nice precise razor blade, use my little Ofla, and just cut it in the center. And now I've got this easily removable from the carpet, and I won't restick it. As you can see, I can leave it there, it's out of the way. Okay? Because this is the part that's sticking to your tool. So this you want to keep debris free. So say for example, I did something crazy and I hydro dipped these scissors. That would not be simple, but I could tell you that you have to just think of when you drop it in, how it's going to wrap around something. Hydro dipping this, for example, and one, if you can tear stuff apart, you should. But like this, go like that, hold it by this. If you can take that apart, then you don't have something to hold it by. Otherwise, you have to clean all that off and it's just a pain. But imagine, say for example, I wrapped this in tape, okay? And then I put tape in there. I could probably take the knife out and then I could go like this to it. And when I push it through, this hydro dip will want to wrap around it. It will wrap around an object. So yeah, what we're gonna do next is I'm gonna go ahead and disassemble the drill. I'm gonna sit down at the workbench and do that. And anything else that I plan on hydro dipping. These are already primed and painted with the white. So I gotta get the drill disassembled. And I'm doing one more thing, and you'll see that in the next clip because, I mean, I sort of gave you a spoiler if you didn't notice it in the distance. So I'll be right back. Okay, I know I spoiled it. So that's right. If you didn't see in the background of the intro, I'm hydro dipping these PACKOUT drawers. I'm only gonna hydro dip the drawers, not the frame. So in the general sense of the stack. Now I would just need a bigger tank. It has to be as deep as the product is gonna be, and it's gonna have to be as wide as it is with wraparound. And that's just maybe later. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tell you how these come off because, spoiler, I've got some custom latches. And by taking, not latches, drawer pulls, but by taking these off, one, that means I don't have to mask them. And two, I can let the paint get there and then I can just cover that up and it doesn't have to look perfect. I'm also gonna take that off. So let's first talk about these. Inside here are these tabs. You take this screwdriver, a screwdriver, you put it under that tab and you just work it out, okay, while you pull. And then on this guy, up under this edge, are these tabs. And you just get your finger on each one of those, okay? Can you see it? Push, push, that comes off. Hydro dip is not that thick, so it being under that is not a problem. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these off. You guys can listen to the chipmunks. Boom. Now I just gotta do that to 3 more drawers. And let's take these off now. So these rails, and just the reason why I'm taking them off is because everything I leave on here, I either have to mask or it's gonna get a mess. So these, to move these, they're supposed to pull out backwards, and there's probably just this stop right here, which means if I get this past the stop and pull, it should slide out. So I'll lift it where that stop is, get the screwdriver in here. So there's one of these stops on each side. So what I'll do is I'll just wedge a screwdriver on this side too. And then I'll put it up here where the front of the drawer slide is. And it pops off. Now I just got to do that 15 more times. Okay, I'm back and I'm sweating, so no hat. I'll put it back on. This is amazingly annoying. Okay, I'm going to show you the tricks that I've learned, right? So this is the whole point why you watch this channel. You watch me make a fool of myself for the first 3 tries, and then by the end, I figured it out. All right. So on this one, it's actually easier to not even pry. These latches have a simple little nub, right? It's sort of like a retention nub. And then they have this angle. You can get a screwdriver right into there. And then just get a rubber mallet, start here, boop, 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 start pounding. Literally, the force of you hitting pushes it down and gets that retention out. And then if you can get that one loose and none of the other ones, just work on the next. I'll do it on that. I'll show you. That's it. It's out. Okay, now I'm going to show you another trick on the rails. This is what's holding it into the drawer, and this is what's keeping it from sliding back out of that, okay? Otherwise, without this, it'd just slide on and off. They didn't want to use screws. So we're going to get a screwdriver under there in 2 spots and one at the end to pry. And I put the one at the end in the pry at first if I can. Okay? And now where those nubs were, to keep it, I put the screwdriver under. Same thing here. Okay, and now I should, and these will fall. Boom. All right, so those are stripped drawers. Now what I'm gonna do is get a paper towel with some alcohol on it, and I'm gonna wipe down everything I wanna paint. Once I wipe down everything I wanna paint, I'll show you them masked off, meaning duct tape, whatever, taped and ready so that anything else that I don't mask, I'm prepared to get Hydrodip and spray paint on. Now I will tell you on these, the main goal is to get the fronts. I could really care less about the bottom. Obviously there's going to be tools in here. We want to be neat. We want to be neat because it's the JakeOfALL channel. But I do want a clean line here. So I will mask around that. But in here, if I get some in there, I don't know. We'll see how anal I want to get. So I'll be back after I've masked this, and we'll also show you the drill. All right, here it is, masked. So you can see what I'm going for. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I just did a nice uniform reveal here, and this is going to get covered in spray paint. So I just use plastic to keep as much out of there. From an overspray standpoint, the main thing I'm worried about is there. Because when I pull out my drawers, I don't want it to look sloppy. So I'm going to go ahead and get a coat of primer on these. I am going to wipe them down with alcohol one more time since my grubby hands have been all over these things. And then we'll go and show you the drill. Okay, we're in the house, so we have a different hat. So I've got the drill, the surge. I've got every screw loose. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a couple things. Is I will set it down here on the table. And if you look at this pattern that these screws are making, right? I'm going to pull them out and I'm going to put them on the workbench in this shape, okay? Obviously, we have ones that don't want to sit still, but that's fine. Get them all out and put them like this. So I have one screw that wanted to stay, so I'll go like that. Then I will set the drill next to it, and I will take my other smartphone and I will take a picture. So now I have a reference in case for some reason all these screws are different sizes. And then this one, there's 2 different sizes. Big ones at the bottom, little ones at the top. So we're fine. We're gonna move that out of the way, and then we're gonna open it up. Now that's another time where you wanna make sure you get a good picture of it, is when you've opened this. When I did the M12 installation driver, there was a very specific alignment to the top selector in it, and it took, gosh, I don't know. Hey, PACKOUT Princess, do you remember, what was it, like 3 days that I messed with that stupid drill?
Yes.
Yeah. And I do this in my spare time, so. Okay, so I've got this. So what I'm gonna do, now that it's open, I take another picture. Okay, so now I'm gonna get it completely disassembled and degreased, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so at this step, it's completely disassembled. It is wiped down. I will wipe the grip one more time since that's where I'm holding it. But I'm gonna paint it, prime it, and put the color coat with them sitting like this because it's just easier, and then it won't get fused together. I will paint it down, and then what I've experienced is I don't get a lot of paint on the inside, so it won't be a problem. There's a spot here where a bearing goes, but nothing in here I've noticed interferes enough where paint makes a difference. So let me go ahead and get primed and painted, and then we'll show you that, the next part. Yeah. Okay, so this is what I call a mist coat or a tack coat. It's very light. I try to get all around it, and I'm not getting thickness, I am getting coverage. So I want to make sure that everything has a little bit of tack so that I know it'll stick to it. I let this dry. It doesn't have to be crazy long. And then I come back out and I put just coat after coat until most of the red is gone, because I am putting a white on top of this, which means it doesn't have to be insanely perfect and all the red doesn't have to be missing, but a bright spot of red on the surface will show through. Okay, I'm back out here in the shop, and you guys might have seen the spoiler, might not, depending on the way, but I've got those with their final coat of primer and they're drying. And now I'm gonna do some silver. Here's the thing. Now is your time that you can fix stuff. If you have any splotches, something like that, fix it on your primer. I got a little trash in it. You can actually take it off with this and then a tack-free cloth. So that is gonna get silver. That's gonna get white. That needs to dry more. So this is what it looks like before. Again, it's getting top coated, so I'm not going for a massively thick coat, plus I'm running a little low on primer. But it'll be fine. I did that on the others. So let me move on and I'll show you next. Okay, hat's back on. All right, so the drill. Look, I used my extra cups for something. The drill, it's got the top coat. It's 2 coats. It's gonna dry. I'm gonna leave that actually. You know how you can put spray paint on coat after coat once it's, tacked or, dry to the touch? Not gonna mess with that on as far as the hydro dipping goes. So they're on. I will cut out off camera the hydro film for that one. I've already got it for the Dennis Smallbone stuff for the giveaway that I'm doing on Instagram, which if you guys don't know about that, I'm doing a 55K giveaway. It might be 60 by the time I do it. But a couple people asked, are you gonna make the flex or the Milwaukee look like a flex? That's gray or silver. All right, so I gotta get out of here because if you look how it's hazy, I'm gonna get high if I stay in here too long. So I'll see you guys back once I've gotten the fumes down and it's time to put the film on. All right, I'm back. So I'm gonna try, right, with the part that I care the least about. And that's just because I know the way it's gonna cover and it's not gonna look great. We'll reiterate it, right? So we're trying to do these, and we know that when we dip this, right, we would like to see some dip in there. And when I talked about it, it was do it something like that from the back. So I'm gonna go like that. And remember, we've taped our thing. I actually got a pull heater. I don't do big things when I do something bigger. You wanna make sure you have room for the fact that you're dipping your hands and you're overflowing. I might be pushing a little bit on here. I'm not gonna worry too much about the borders on this. I think I should be good since I have this completely taped. But I make sure my water is around, 90 degrees, okay? And I've got the film and I've got a timer. So what I'm gonna do, right, and I'll tell you this first, activator, I put this in the water, we wait a minute. Once that minute goes, we spray on this activator, and we wanna make sure the top of this film looks nice and glossy and even, because that's how we know, right, it's glossy, it's sticky, all the way around that we're good. We push it through the water and we sort of give it a push. Then I am gonna stop the camera and I'm gonna go rinse it off. It's rinsing it off. You basically don't want to power wash it, but you want to slightly run water across the surface to agitate any of the goops, whatever, right? And a low spray would work, sort of like something that comes out of your sink with that little air diffuser. So that way it's not like jets squirting on it. So I'm gonna go ahead, right, set my timer, hit start, okay? You do want to set this on the water at sort of an angle, and you're trying to get bubbles out. You don't want too much air trapped in there. Okay, so now set it, probably took about 5 seconds. I'll add a little bit extra to that, let it go, and we'll be right back. All right, it's going. So now it is nice and glossy. Like I said, we're gonna go sort of for this kind of effect. And I'm gonna go slow because I want it to creep in as many places as possible. And then I push my hand through. Now I'm giving it a little squiggle squiggle. And so see that little thing there? That's sort of what I'm trying to rinse off. So I can run my fingers on that and it's not going to do much to it. So there is a film. Obviously it's a film. The whole thing is a film. That's why it's called hydrotipping, right? So this film is sort of this glossy, textury, sort of like a slime that you'll feel. And that's the whole point of rinsing it. You're trying to get the rest of that off so when you go to put your clear coat. Now, like I said, this was sort of my test piece that we're just giving away. You can see I coated my top pretty well. Coated my front where that thing got a crease in it. It's got this interesting line, but it's a skull pattern. Really doesn't matter. You can see where it sort of stretches around it. It does that. So there you go. Pretty simple. Okay. So now I'm gonna go rinse it off and we'll do some of the other ones. All right, so we're back, and as you can see, I've got some nice skulls, and these, at the end of this video, are the ones we're announcing. We're giving away that and the Jake stand. This was the first piece I did, and I want you to look. See this line across this? This is where the film puckered, because I had taped this thing like a month ago, and when I did it, and it just sat here, this line started puckering because it just sat out. It was, it dissolves in water, right? So as it sat out, it must have shrunk, whatever. So best thing is to do, if you're gonna lay out your film, make sure you have enough. Do it, don't actually put it on sheets, put it back away. Now, next thing I'm doing, that's a bad idea, is that my sink here is way too small, but you can see, like I said, I got the heater, and if you look, this thing barely fits. So what I'm gonna do, I've got my activator, just like those. I'm gonna hit my timer. I'm gonna basically lay this in, try to get the least number of bubbles possible, hit start, wait, and then we're gonna dip it. Now we're starting. So now I'm going to be cognizant of where I want it to wrap around, and like I said, this is the joy of having a slightly too small of a vessel, and it's going to be a lot harder to rinse it, but as you can see quickly, that's what we're getting. Now I'm going to run this outside and give it a rinse off. So those bubbles are really important because you need the water. I believe it's called PVA, but you need the water to dissolve that, right? So a bubble in here, this film is not going to dissolve and liquefy as well. That is bad. So if you get water on the surface, you want to make sure that's not on your thing.
You have to make sure you get him.
Okay. The other thing is that a fold in the film will show up. It's one of those things where I try not to let it happen, and I've done, 10 of these at most. But as our time counts down, and you can see I have a bubble right there. If I can, with a dry finger, get it out, it's good. Otherwise, you can try to just position your piece where it's not going to check out. Marshmallow.
Yeah, he's cool. Marshmallow Deadpool.
So when it goes off, we'll go ahead. This one's almost out. But these inner webbings are perfect to figure out how you want to do it. But you said you wanted him? Minion?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't
forget to spray it.
So I want to try to go like that.
Yeah, and you can try to get the Deadpool marshmallow.
Okay, so we'll go at that angle.
Yeah, I'm going to try.
So.
What's the worst? We mess it up?
All right, so there you can see how it's nice and glossy liquefied. And I just bring it in. And then, no, I don't have gloves on. And yes, we've been doing this open, but for the ones where we film, we need lighting better. So we might be a little bit right now. So I'm gonna go rinse this off, and then we'll come back and show them completed. Well, I guess you have both changed.
Yeah. Well, sometimes you gotta change things up a little.
It's purple.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like an eggplant.
Oh, I'm supposed to eggplant emoji. Well, damn.
Yeah, they look pretty good, don't they?
Oh, I was talking about the hair.
Thanks.
Tell you what, let me turn this thing around.
Okay.
Okay, wait, before we turn it around, let's get a little closer.
You gotta look at my design that I picked out.
So what? Oh, we got
Look, go ahead. You explain what's on the front.
Boba Fett minion.
Yep.
What else do we? Oh,
The
Stay Puft Marshmallow.
I'm not sure what he's supposed to be though. And then look, there's another minion, Batman minion. And then look, this one's my favorite. It's Edward Scissorhands with a Jason Voorhees mask on it. And then look, we got Spider-Man, Super Mario.
That's awesome.
And then there's another Deadpool.
I wish there was more of that. That is Popeye the Sailor Man as like an axe murderer.
Yeah. How cool is that though? It turned out pretty well.
I think I'm happy with it. I think I want to do gloss next time.
Yeah. I think gloss would be
Okay,
good.
so what else do we have?
And then we have these, but you can explain those.
Okay, so
I'll point.
Okay, USB lithium caddies. So those are, close that, right? Boom. Those are from Dennis Smallbones. And these two are going to be in our 55K giveaway on Instagram.
Yep.
Skulls.
Yep.
And then this was the one that you vetoed and said you wanted to do. So that's the Jake stand. That's for the install driver.
Yep.
And then
these ones were given away.
Yeah, at the end of this video.
Yep.
And so that's the other. This is from Dennis. This is from JakeOfALL, us. So I thought they turned out well. A complex thing like these holes, you can see they're inside there. Sometimes it's hard to get it in the hole.
Yep.
Okay, so drawers.
Drawers.
All right, so let's show them. So you can see where I stopped it.
Yeah, the line right there.
And there, this is where I ruined
the
it.
boo-boo.
Yep, it's ruined.
It's okay. It's not ruined, right? It's a drawer. It closes. Look, you can't even tell.
So we have the low voltage generation logo. Shout out. These are, who are they? Come on, tell them. Who made these?
I don't know.
Vernon. 3D Technology.
There's so many different people.
There's always links, right? So we have 3D. We got to figure out what we want to label the bottom with. But we've got a combination of Dennis Smallbone Bitstackers and a combination of some of the Neat Tool bins. The bottom one doesn't have a handle on it yet, so it's fun. These are some of the Neat Tool bins. So I'm probably gonna put like hardware on that one.
On here, you got you got Dennis, you got Neat, you got.
It's a big thing. We're like an orphanage.
Yeah.
And I did it. I did one more. Obviously, I put the foam on the top so that if I put it in a car, but I'm going to put a finger hole. But that keeps the sockets in place. I might do 2 half pieces of this foam, one on the bottom, one on the top, and that will allow me to store stuff under the tray and keep them from falling out. And that one I'm going to foam, but that's the old Craftsman stuff.
Another.
So, all right, now let me throw this in there.
Okay, throw it back up there.
Hey, I get to be in the video.
Woo!
Okay, I mean, you guys already saw the install process and how many times I probably repeated myself on what you have to do to build this.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not going to go in it again. I'll link the description, Southern Hydrodynamic, whatever. I'll link them in, well, it's like Hydrodynamics.
Oh,
or
the
something.
company, okay.
The company where I get all my supplies from.
I got
They're on eBay, they're on Amazon, they're
But
everywhere.
they make
now.
it simple, right?
I mean, I think so. It's you
I
can
mean,
buy.
I was able to get that. So.
You can buy small kits that include the activator, primer, color coat, and the film.
Yep.
Or you can do crazy stuff like this out of cat boxes with aquarium heaters, like I did. But I don't want to say it was simple. It's definitely not simple. But you definitely can do it if you devote time. I unfortunately on these devoted a little too long. When I cut the film to the time I actually dipped it, it curled a little bit, made an interesting pattern. But they're skulls. So realistically, I think it all turned out great.
Yeah.
So we got the giveaway.
Yeah.
I'm not going to talk anymore.
Okay, so grab your phone.
So,
and we gotta look because they were supposed to comment.
I think
something
interesting ways. One person I like, I wonder if she'll find that one, was talking about hydro dipping sneakers. Now, while the film I think would tear with a sneaker, I think a tougher shoe. Either way, I still think it would look cool, and I would totally do it with a pair of shoes if I had some extra film. So I'm good with that. She's looking.
So this one's, I'm just going to read a couple of them and then I'll pick a winner. Somebody said they would do a rifle stock. Somebody said that they would do their Sawzall.
Yeah.
Super Sawzall.
That's a good idea.
Somebody said a welding helmet.
Yeah, so welding helmet. I mean, my Miller is covered in graphics already, but you know how sometimes you get cheap ones?
M12
That look
Rover.
good? Yeah? Okay.
Somebody said Hydrodip PACKOUT Princess.
You're already covered in art.
I know, right?
My hands, when I'm
Custom
hydro dipping,
sneakers, that's that one.
when my hands are hydro dip, I don't put gloves on. I should, and I get it
Okay.
all over my arms.
Okay, so I read the comments. I'm gonna go with Super Sawzall.
I love it. Okay.
Okay, and you don't. I'm gonna pick what you get. So you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit. Right? That's what we tell our kids. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, look at my hair.
Then the second one. We're gonna do the sneakers one.
That's
Cause
awesome.
that was a good one.
I thought the sneakers were, like, I gotta find me a pair of white, like, New Balances or something basic to start with, clean them.
Okay, so tell them how that they're supposed to.
Okay, we've been really bad. We started.
Hold on, I never said who the name was. Okay, hold on, let me go back.
We started slacking. So can I tell them what you?
Yeah, tell them how to.
So winners at JakeOfALL.com.
Or winning at
Or winning at
JakeOfALL.com. Or
JakeOfALL.com.
win at JakeOfALL.com.
Win.
Or orders at JakeOfALL.com.
You
Okay.
email us your name on YouTube and say,
Yes.
I was the winner of the XYZ in the video. And
Yes.
speaking of that,
Yes.
we have we have 2 of the accessories from the Flex Stack giveaway, which was in this video, right? This was the sander, right? Sand out?
I believe so.
She'll say. This was in the sander video. So go back and watch the sander video to find out if you won the accessories. Otherwise, if in like 3 weeks we haven't heard, we're going to do another YouTube live and we're just going to give away the stuff on there.
Okay, so the winner was Jeffrey Davis and Arthur McKinnon.
Okay, and the tool is not included.
Yep.
But email her winner at JakeOfALL.com. All else fails, orders. We just try to keep it separate. So you'll get an email back from us saying, all right, thanks, blah, blah, blah. So email us your name on YouTube, your address, and all that fun stuff so we can get it out to you.
Yep.
And that's it. I'm done. So you say
Woohoo.
goodbye.
Wait, no. Wait. We got one more giveaway to do. Hang on.
Oh my gosh, she said keep the video shorter.
I know. Well, you said keep the video shorter. Now you keep blabbing. Here. I know you didn't really want to.
No, that's mine.
No, we are gonna give it away. It's
I-
taking up room in my shop.
I've put your.
Look, okay. You have the big garage. I have this teeny tiny little shed I gotta work out of. Okay. So hold this.
But it's so
and-
pretty.
In order to win that, they had to either buy a self-mount board,
Okay.
or that board, right? Or they had to buy 2 self-mount products, okay? So I have the names here. You can see it in the hat. I'm gonna shake it around.
Oh, you're gonna shake it all right.
Shake, 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 shake.
Oh my gosh.
I can do that, right?
PG-13.
It never is PG-13.
Oh, you just wasted a whole big old sheet of paper. Oh, you printed out their order.
I did.
She's smart.
Duh. Okay, the winner is Greg Steiger? Okay, whatever. I have your email address, so I will be
What
emailing
did
you.
Greg buy?
He bought M12 battery holder and M18 battery holder.
Dude. So, you win this. It's one of a kind, but we do sell the boards.
Yeah, there's
we have
still
a couple left, right?
Yep.
So if you want a board like this or stealth mount feet, they have to email you to get stealth mount
You have to email me if you want self-mount feet. I've got it.
We only have bulk left. But battery brackets, stuff like that are all on the website, shop.jakeofall.com.
Yep.
Thank you, Stealth Mounts,
Yeah.
for providing the board.
And here, I'm gonna put that with that.
Those were from our personal stash, aka my tinkering. And so thanks for everyone for entering. And sorry for the longer one, but you guys, I guess I gotta take her inside. I'm thinking about
I
recreating.
feel like I should like be
farmer in the dill thing. But yeah, you guys asked for a more in-depth, so it's your fault if this video is long.
All right.
I'm saying bye.
Okay, it's ready. Bye.